This is WPTV, William Patterson Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The college football playoffs are set, and here to talk about it all is Andy Gavin, Bijan, Pulley, Trent, and myself. Starting off, this week we've gotten to see who the finalists are for this year's Heisman Award, and after weeks of tough opponents, these four athletes have proven worthy of being considered as finalists. I'm going to start off by saying that I think Marvin Harrison Jr. deserves the Heisman, right? You take a look at his stats, and it's 67 receptions for 1,211 receiving yards, 1,211. He's got 15 total touchdowns on the year. That's 14 receiving, 1 rushing, and an average of 18.1 yards per reception. And that's what I want to take a look at, right? You look back at 2020, and you see Devontae Smith, the last wide receiver to win the Heisman, right? His stats were 1,856 yards, right? And that was on 117 receptions. Marvin Harrison Jr. only had 67 this year. That's 50 less than Devontae Smith had. If you do the math and you look at his average per reception this year, and you times it by 50, which is how many less receptions he had than Devontae Smith, he ends up with, in addition to his current yards, ends up with
2,116
receiving yards. So I feel like, yes, it's based on a lot of what could have been, but yeah, it is. But Kyle McCord was throwing him the ball, and he was not very good this season. He was average at best. If you had show me C.J. Stroud back there, right? I think Marvin Harrison Jr. deserves the Heisman. We're always talking about getting it to new positions rather than quarterback. Why not a wide receiver for this? I'm just saying. But moving on to you, Bijan, who do you think deserves the Heisman?
Be honest, love Marvin Harrison, but we got to give it to a quarterback this year. You know who quarterback that is? The quarterback down in Baton Rouge, Jaden Daniels. That's my guy. He has 3,812 passing yards, 40 touchdowns to 1,134 rushing yards, 50 total touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. Those are insane numbers. And he has a QBR of 95.7, which is the best in the country. And people always say, "Oh, his team's only 9-3. He didn't even qualify for the college football playoff." Well, he didn't qualify because his defense couldn't stop a nosebleed if they had a tissue. And he has to put up all those points because defense is garbage. Fire Matt House immediately, please. But we got to give to Jaden Daniels. I think it's no debate.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels has had an impressive season. Marvin Harrison Jr. may be a little more impressive on the wide receiver side.
I don't know about all that, but
on the wide receiver side. But that's all right. Trent, moving on to you. Who do you think deserves the Heisman?
So I've been singing this guy's praises for a long time, but for me, I definitely got to say Michael Penix Jr., quarterback out of Washington. He's just a fantastic player all around. This is the second season throwing for over 4,000 yards. For passing touchdowns, he's got 33, interceptions only 9, and a QB rating of 83.4. Now, the difference is between all these other guys we're talking about on the desk, Michael Penix is undefeated still at this very day. And not to mention, he's the only one here in the playoffs either. He's the only one there. So really,
that means nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't really have a lot to do.
Wins are a team stat, not a quarterback stat.
Yeah,
regardless, someone's got to throw those receivers the ball, and Penix has the cannon to get it there. All I'm saying is the Heisman's going to have real big Penix energy this year.
Oh, brother, you wasn't cooking with that. Like you thought you were.
All right, moving on to you, Andy Gavin. Who do you think deserves the Heisman?
This pains me to say it. Bo Nix.
Oh, my God.
No.
Really?
I hate Bo Nix with a burning passion. You know this. I hope he goes undrafted. I hope Bo Nix never touches an NFL field, but give him the Heisman.
The Giants are going to take him.
Don't. Death stare.
Don't. He has 4,145 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, an insane amount, 3 interceptions, and a 91 QBR rating. He has been lights out, and if we're going off what Trent said, apparently he's not a good quarterback because he didn't lead his team to the college finals, to the Final Four, playoffs, whatever you want to say. But, Bo Nix has been exceptional. we saw his talents when he was remember, he's older, but he was a true rookie in Auburn, and we saw his talent there in the past 2 years. He's really played well in, Oregon, and Auburn did him wrong. I'll admit it. Auburn treated him well.
Thank you. You're finally admitting it.
Auburn did not treat him well, and Oregon opened up their arms to Bo Nix, and Bo Nix has been really good. But I hope you go to the XFL, CFL, UCFL, and lose and break your leg.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
That's rough.
No. Bo Nix.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's
no.
Hate. That's preying on someone's downfall.
That's
no. That's a break your leg. No, break records. records
In-
with his
in the
legs.
CFL.
Yes, running, rushing.
You meant break a leg.
Yes.
Like you're wishing him luck
Yes, yeah.
in his journey in the
No,
XFL.
no. Yeah, and like rushing yards break.
Yeah.
It's
We know what you were saying. But,
Thank you.
You know, with all the hype around some big names this year, some players have gone under the radar. Trent, we'll start with you. I know who you're going to take because you've been praising this guy for a while now. Who is your unsung hero in the world of college football?
So we're talking about a guy here that's going to be basically a combination of Deebo Samuel and Antonio Brown together in one player. Malachi Corley out of Western Kentucky is the Yak King. He's got 255 receptions, 3,000 receiving yards, 29 touchdowns, and an average of 11.8 yards per reception. This guy is stellar, one of the best route runners in the game right now. He's got a great energy to him, and he galvanizes his team every time he steps on the field.
Yeah, Malachi Corley, he's someone that I've heard a lot about, just in the draft circle, with this upcoming spring. Someone that I think might go higher than a lot of people expect. But yeah, no, those career stats look great for him. Andy, moving over to you, who's your unsung hero?
I'm going to say Jalen McMillan. He has been absolutely lights out at Washington. And, you could say that's a reason Michael Penix has been really good is because of Jalen McMillan.
3 great receivers over there in
Yeah.
Washington.
Someone's got to throw to him.
Doesn't matter. You have 3 good receivers. Any quarterback can be good. But we take a look here at his stats. He has, in his career, he has 153 receptions, 2,052 receiving yards, 15 touchdowns, and he averages 13.4 yards. And we look at his stats this year, 34 receptions, 468 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging 13.8 yards. So he has been absolutely lights out. He might be the best receiver on that team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Over O'Dunes? Romo Dunes?
Jalen McMillan.
I mean, the stats
You
look great.
put Jalen McMillan on any other Pac-12 team, any Big Ten team, he's wide receiver 1 there.
I don't disagree with
But,
that.
Washington has become WRU, Washington Wide Receiver University.
Yeah,
That's what it's been the past few years.
McMillan definitely been impressive in his career and this season, but for my guy, I'm going to go with a quarterback just broke out on the scene, Noah Fafita, right, from Arizona. We take a look at his stats. He's got 2,643 passing yards, along with 24 passing touchdowns, a completion percentage of 72 on the nose, and only 5 interceptions, and that's career stats. Obviously, he's only in his second year, right, but to really understand the magnitude of how good he is, we have to take a trip back in time, right? Arizona hasn't had a winning record in 6 years. They were 7-6 in 2017. This season with Noah Fafita at the helm, they went 9-3, coming 3rd in the Pac-12, above schools like USC, Utah, and Oregon State. 3 powerhouses in that conference, right? Last 2 games of the season versus
Not a conference.
well, yes, the former conference of the Pac-12, but last 2 games of the season versus Utah and Arizona State combined for 780 yards along with 7 touchdowns. He's playing in the Alamo Bowl versus Oklahoma. I'm excited to watch him blossom into even better of a player than he already is. Moving on, Bijan, who's your unsung hero?
Well, I got to go with someone super underrated. I didn't know him until you put me on for this block. Is Torrey Horton, senior wide receiver out of Colorado State. If we look at his stats on the screen for his career, 239 receptions, 3,262 yards, 26 touchdowns, and his average yard per catch is 13.6. Not as good as Marvin Harrison, still really good. And the past 2 seasons in particular, he's had 71 and 96 catches, 1,131 and 1,136 yards, and 8 touchdowns in both seasons. He's just simply producing, but no one cares, because who's watching Colorado State? I mean, I wasn't, but
Well, I mean, that game against Colorado, that was incredible.
That's when I saw him.
Overtime, triple overtime?
Triple overtime.
Triple overtime in that
And I
game.
saw him, I'm like, that guy's a baller.
He was
right there.
incredible. I mean, he kind of made Travis Hunter look silly out there.
It's also when they knocked out Travis Hunter.
Well, he wasn't the one that did it, but
was-
No, I'm saying that was
yeah,
when
that was
Travis
the
Hunter got knocked out.
But no, that game was certainly incredible. But with the way college football is evolving, the transfer portal is seeming to become a greater factor every season. Many players are leaving their schools, to be sought after by teams looking for that one last piece. Bijan, starting with you, who's the biggest name in the transfer portal right now?
I got to go with the quarterback, former quarterback of Oklahoma, Dylan Gabriel. As we look on the screen, in his career, he has 6,828 passing yards, 55 passing touchdowns, with a completion percentage of 78% to only 12 interceptions.
Yeah, looking great at Oklahoma.
He was. And he has 5 years of starting experience, so he's a vet. He knows what he's doing. This ain't like a true freshman coming into the limelight. And last season, 4,033 total yards, 42 total touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. He had a QBR of 87.3, which is the 4th best in the country. I could see him going to a team like Bo Nix's former team, Oregon, and maybe even playing better than Bo Nix and elevating them to that college football playoff status that they was trying to get to this year.
I mean, I would love to see it, right? Dylan Gabriel is someone who he's going into his 6th year of college football.
Super senior.
He's super senior. I mean, just insane the amount of time he's gotten on the college field. But Trent, moving over to you, who's your biggest name in the transfer portal?
I mean, I got to go for Riley Leonard. He's a smart kid with a good head on his shoulders and overall just fantastic dual threat QB. See a lot of teams out there need it with 4,450 passing yards, 24 passing touchdowns, completion percentage of 62%, and 10 interceptions. That's a pretty good stat line. That's some of the stuff we see with some of our Heisman guys. And just overall, he's a great all-around quarterback. And for the love of God, I want to see him on Notre Dame, man.
Of course
I
you
really do.
The Notre Dame homerism comes out yet again for Trent.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's a good player, just really solid.
Great player.
Unfortunate this year, had a season-ending injury. But ultimately, I think the next team that gets him could work wonders with him. But Andy Gavin, moving on to you, who's your biggest name in the transfer portal?
I'm going to say Kyle McCord. He was great at Ohio State. We look at his stats right here. Great.
Okay.
Passing yards, he has 3,776, 27 passing touchdowns, 665 completion percentage, and 8 interceptions. Obviously, this was his first time being the starter. C.J. Stroud was there last year. And, he has been really good. Ryan Day, that whole offense system is kind of not good. We saw it last year with C.J. Stroud. He didn't really see his potential, but now we see with the Texans.
Yeah,
Ryan Day should be out of there. I mean, and where I could see him going, where quarterbacks do well? USC, replacing Caleb Williams, or Michigan. J.J. McCarthy's out of there.
Could you imagine
Ohio State,
the riots
Michigan.
that would happen?
That would make the best content and the best.
That would be incredible.
That would be amazing.
The rivalry that's already so intense.
And it would just
boost
ensue
up
it even
that.
more.
Jersey guy, Kyle McCord, is from Mount Laurel.
Oh, really?
That's where NFL Films is.
Yeah.
Now we can throw
Who
picks
told you
on
that?
Ohio
Who told you that?
I knew that. Anyway, moving on. To me, my guy is Raheem Rocket Sanders, the running back from Arkansas. We'll take a look at his stats. He's got, and this is in his career at Arkansas, 398 carries for 2,230 rushing yards, 17 rushing touchdowns, and 5.6 yards per carry. The guy's an absolute behemoth, right? 6'2", 242 pounds. You don't see many running backs built like that. And, unfortunately, he had an injury-riddled 2023 after an exceptional 2022. Next team that gets him, though, they're getting a special talent if he can stay healthy, and that's the most important part. Well,
We know running back shelf life.
We know how
Of
bad
course.
it can be. And when you're that many injuries in a year and how your knees can take many shots, and you know what? You know a good running back out of Penn State.
Of course.
Andy Gavin.
I was thinking Saquon.
I was saying Andy Gavin.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
unfortunate that you're not actually a running back at Penn State. But moving on, to wrap up the show, it's been the talk of the town. The College Football Playoff Committee made a bold and frankly controversial decision for the four-team tournament by placing both Texas and Alabama, who are both 12-1, over the undefeated Florida State Seminoles. Andy Gavin, starting with you, do you think that decision was justified?
Camera 3, I'm going to get on my soapbox right here.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to my soapbox.
Whoa. Okay.
In 2017, UCF went 12-0.
They did good. Yes.
They beat 4 ranked teams. They did not have any injuries to their quarterbacks. They were placed 6th. They played in the Peach Bowl against LSU, which was ranked 9th. They beat LSU by 21 in the Peach Bowl. They made themselves national championships. They became national championships. Now you're going to have him over there fighting this, and there's no iron team. There's no iron team because of their quarterback getting hurt. They're not going to put a team
if there's
in
no
there.
iron
They're
team,
not gonna put
if
a
you're using
team
that
in
analogy,
there.
wouldn't it make more
you're
sense to
kinda
put
using that
Florida State
completely
in the
No,
playoffs?
no. I'm going to say. Let me finish. We're going to give him the time. You give me the time.
I'm giving you the time. It just
There's
didn't
no
make
iron
sense.
team. We're teaching what the CFB committee is teaching, or the NCAA committee is teaching them, is that when you lose your star player, give up, you lost all hope.
Whoa.
Right? That's
Why
what
would-
they're saying.
but-
That is what they're instilling, right?
Do you agree with
Yes!
that? Why?
Because you're not going to
You literally just said there's no iron. You just said there's no iron
no
team.
iron team.
You
When a guy
you somehow
loses one
use that
player,
trying to
it's over.
use that for you.
Didn't work.
Not at all.
Do you see where I'm going with it, though?
Well, listen, I see what you're saying about the NCAA saying that, but
Yes.
I don't understand why
They're-
you would agree with that.
I'm agreeing with it because, listen, come on. You think you have Tom Brady, they're going to win any of those 5 Super Bowls?
Probably not, but I
Exactly.
don't know. You don't know unless you would see it. That's the thing.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'm just saying.
No,
You think-
no one's ever won anything with a backup quarterback. It's not like there's a whole statue
Eagles, Nick
in front of
Foles.
Philly Stadium because they won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. But you
All right,
you
Nick
can
Foles
never
is
win
still
in
a
anything
starter
with
in the
a backup.
league for a decent amount of time.
It doesn't matter.
It
He was
does
still
matter.
a backup.
It does matter. The
Everyone said
competition
Philly
difference
was
is
done that
different.
year because it was Carson Wentz.
You take a
now,
true
all of a sudden
freshman
you're
quarterback
saying
in the
it
Final
doesn't
Four. He's
matter.
not
There's
going
still
to
an
do
entire
good.
Says
team
who?
around him.
Says
21
who?
guys
Come
on
on.
the field.
Come
It
on.
does not matter
defense-
if you lose just the
All right,
quarterback. There's still an entire
you
team
put them
around
fourth.
him.
You put them fourth. What defense are they playing?
At fourth, what defense are they
Who are they
playing?
playing the 1 seed? Who's the 1 seed?
Michigan.
How good is that defense? That could be the best defense.
It's pretty good, but they can
It's the
still
best
compete with
defense.
them. They still have a great run
It's
game.
the
They
best.
still have good receivers. Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson.
For a quarterback,
You have
they barely
good
threw
receivers,
the
but
other
it
day when he was
doesn't
in.
matter.
They
Okay, so
barely
let's just run the
threw.
ball down their throat.
That's what Michigan runs.
And what if they did
Michigan
well enough? They did
stop
fine doing
that.
it against Louisville. They still won that game doing it.
You think about the
You're
NCAA.
acting as
They
if
have-
it doesn't matter.
They need views. They have paid.
There is a
All right, this is a
quarterback is not the
conversation.
only
Conversation's
piece on
going
a
one way.
team.
Let me talk real quick, all right? I want to
Okay,
pull
let
that
you
out. Let me
talk.
talk.
Okay, so you can be wrong again. Don't worry.
They have ads to pay. They need people watching that game. You're going to have Michigan, Florida State. No one's watching that game. They're going to lose
No
revenue.
one's watching that game. Florida State has no history. Florida State has no history, guys. No
What-
one's going to watch that game.
What have they had since Jameis Winston? We're going to go back from Jameis Winston to prime
That
time?
was too long ago. That wasn't even a decade
Can we talk
ago.
relevancy?
That was it.
Relevancy
that was a whole
right
century
now.
ago, guys.
Right now.
Right now.
What do
I don't
they
know,
have? What
Jordan
ad-
Travis, a guy who got snuffed from the Heisman. Jordan Travis
If
should
we're going to
have
talk
been a
snuff, talk
Heisman
Drake may getting
candidate.
snuffed.
Jordan Travis is a great quarterback. And yeah, it sucks that they lost him. But again, there's an entire team around him.
You're not going to put a third-string quarterback with a team in the final
So you put the
spot.
second string in. What do you mean third string?
He has a concussion. He's out.
That's a good point.
Exactly.
He's got me there on that one. But it doesn't matter. Still, a backup quarterback can win. We've
It's
seen
a
it in football.
backup quarterback.
You say any given Sunday for a reason.
It's any given Saturday
All right,
basketball.
all right.
He's got me there, too.
Bijan, very quickly, very quickly, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, God. Okay.
Like, quickly.
Quickly, I understand both sides. I'm going to play mediator, you know.
There you go.
Mr. Calm, cool, collected. I understand both sides. One, Florida State with their first-string quarterback, are they going to move the ball against Michigan? Probably not. But
Thank you.
You don't know. What's the saying? You miss 100% of the shots don't take. Why not put Florida State in? Let's see what the quarterback got.
Exactly.
So I understand both sides.
It'll be a blowout, though. No
So
one's gonna
what?
watch that. They have.
But you never know.
No,
You
never know.
Not doing this again. Not doing this again. Not doing this again.
Testing one thing real quick.
Very quick.
Real quick.
Real
Committee,
quick.
You be quiet.
Committee favors the SEC.
Of course.
We know that. And
duh,
people think it happened. You know this.
Yeah.
We've been knew this.
Okay, so they're
Look,
biased. Is that a good thing?
No.
It
All right.
sells.
All right.
Everyone has
All
some
right.
bias.
We gotta wrap this up. I'm just gonna give my thoughts.
Gets ratings.
Look, just expand the playoffs.
Next
That's
year.
all. That's all. That's
Next
all
year.
I got
That's
for
why
you.
they should have done it this year.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But don't forget to follow us at SportsDeskWP for updates and more. Thank you to all the cast, especially this cast and crew, and a big shout out to our studio manager, Al Clarke. From Studio B in Hamilton Hall, and for everyone at the desk, I'm Marc Brandt. Join us next time here on WPTV.